Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. It feels like a long time since I've introduced OD.
It has been that
I
long.
haven't seen you in ages.
I haven't seen you in over a year. You know what? All that COVID lockdown stuff, it just affected everyone. Like, I haven't been out to an actual boxing show like this since like before lockdown. So now I'm here, it's like, wow, boxing. I've been to 1 or 2 shows, but they weren't really big shows. And, like, they didn't sell out. There was no atmosphere. This is the first show that I've been to since like the past year and a half that there's been an actual atmosphere. It's just amazing to be at a show and see boxing people again. I usually see you guys online and I write to you guys online, but now I'm getting interviewed in person. It's like, wow, we're like, the Zoom
We're back,
calls
aren't we? I'm not gonna lie, I'm sick of Zoom. Are you sick of Zoom?
I'm sick of Zoom. I'm sick of it.
I can't lie, I've deleted the app off my phone, it's gone.
Really?
Yeah. We're out of it now. And you say it's been long since you've been at a boxing show. It's been long since you boxed. What was that? Was it September time? 2020.
Yeah.
Defo end of September, early October time.
It's been over a year. September the 30th before, and you know what, I'm getting straight back into a big fighting Mel Barroso for the WBC Gold in Dubai. So I'm getting straight back into a big fight. But my last win was the second biggest win in my boxing career. I'm 29 years old now. Over the past year, I've learned, I've grown, I've matured so much, and you know what? I'm not trying to fight no bums no more. I'm in this game to be the best that I can be. So it's Mel Barroso, let's go, let's get it.
Before we talk about that fight and a couple of other things boxing related, you said that you're 29 now, you've grown up and you've matured. I can't remember the exact presser. I think it was one of the MTK Golden Contract ones, and you said, I'm the new OD, I'm this and that. And I know you've said that a couple of times, but genuinely now, I mean, even I feel like it, I'll be honest, I feel like this is a different and perhaps, like you said, more mature Ohara Davies than there's ever been.
Yeah, like, you know, a lot of the times when I say there's a new OD, it's all acting. Like, people need to understand, boxing is acting. This is all acting. Acting is what sells. If I was me, if I was how I am from my first fight, Eddie would never, I would never have got signed, I would never have fought on Sky, I would never have got the big deals, got the paychecks that I've got. I wouldn't be the person that I am. I see so many other pros that sometimes I speak to them on the phone and they phone me for some help and some advice, and I speak to these guys and they're amazing fighters, but they can't get a deal. And it all comes down to how you sell yourself. As much as we want to say boxing's about fighting in the ring, boxing is just as much outside the ring as it is inside the ring. You got to sell yourself, and that's what I've had to do. I'm from Hackney, I couldn't sell a ticket. Go and ask Eddie Heard how many tickets I sold. For my biggest fight, I probably sold about 8 tickets. Literally 8 tickets by hand. So I've had to have a personality, because that's what sold me. But you know what? Now I don't feel like I need to do that no more. You know, if I needed to do that, maybe I'll still be acting. But now I can just come out and say, listen, it was all an act, and the boxing fans, they brought into it, and thank them because they brought into it, they allowed me to be the person that I am. And so, yeah. But this time, I think I've changed. Actually changed.
Well, it depends. Are we going to get to Dubai and then you're going to call his Mel Barroso? I don't know, I'm not going to say anything, but are we going to get to Dubai and you're going to stick it on Barroso and the old OD's back?
One thing I know about him is that he can't speak any English.
So it wouldn't matter anyway.
But he speaks Spanish. I know a few words in Spanish.
Oh, we know about you in Spain, we won't go there. But yeah, because it's been so long since you fought as well, I think, actually, talking about that fight, so after that everyone was expecting, right, from now on we're going to see OD in perhaps, if you'd have said from then to now, 3 or 4 big fights, and potentially one of them as a world title shot, can you give like an exact pinpoint reason as to why between beating Tyrone McKenna and now there's been no fights in between?
I felt like I just needed a bit of time off. You know, I wanted to focus on myself, get to know who I am, enjoy my break. Because listen, I remember MTK was having me out so much. I remember I fought Miguel Vasquez in August. Then I fought in the Golden Contract like 2 months after, and I thought I beat Logan Noon. I'm gonna have a little break. MTK phoned me like 2 weeks later, telling me I've got to get straight back into camp because I'm fighting the next round 2. And I was like, guys, I just fought a 10-round fight. I just fought a scheduled 10-round fight. I need a break. They were like, nah, this is the day. So I was mad. So I got into camp. I fought a Furry, and then they tried to get me fighting Tyrone McKenna in June. And I was like, guys, hold up, chill. But then COVID happened, and then the fight went from June to September, which I'm not complaining about because I don't want to be fighting every month or 2 months. So, you know, after Tyrone McKenna, MTK was like, cool, now you've had a well-deserved break.
Was that like the first proper break in your professional boxing career?
Yeah, that's the first break I've had, and you know what? It's been a good break because I've learned about myself, and I've learned about some other stuff. I learned about crypto. I started doing like some cryptocurrency. Someone told me about all this Bitcoin crypto stuff. So I spent a lot of my time learning about cryptocurrency. Spend a lot of my time reading the Bible, learning about God and stuff like that.
Got a few properties. I saw the jangly house keys.
You know.
The landlord.
He's the landlord now. So I got a new flat. I just bought it. I only got the keys last week Friday actually. You know, it's a long process to get the flat, but I'm trying to be smart now. Use my boxing money to invest it in something good because the money you get doesn't last you forever. The money I made in the golden contract, I've really spent that. I've really spent that doing what? I don't know. Though, but I'm lucky that I've got a few investments, I've got a few flats, and I want to be, one day, maybe when my boxing career is done, maybe even now, I want to give a lot of other pros advice on how to spend their money that they've earned. Yeah. I've seen way too many boxers fighting hard fights, box year after year. I know a certain pro, I won't name him by name, but he fought in massive fights, retired, and he's got nothing. He ain't even got a flat. He ain't even got a half-decent car now. He had a half-decent car when he was a pro, taking out all these girls, but now he ain't fighting them, he's got nothing. And I look at him and I'm just like, damn, you took all those shots, you got the blue tick on Instagram, and you got all these people believing you got something, and now you got nothing. And what happens is that they become bitter at the game. I see all these old-time pros, and they're bitter at the game. When you ask them about boxing, they got nothing good to, they ain't got anything good to say about the game because they spunked all their money, and they got nothing. I'm not trying to be that way. I'm trying to make sure that even if I haven't fought in mega fights, even if I haven't earned meals, I haven't. But I've earned enough to get me a little flat. I've earned enough money to invest into something that I can continue earning from for the rest of my life. So that's what I want to get into one day.
Yeah, well, I mean it makes perfect sense, and I think, like you said, there's one too many stories, too common of fighters sort of leaving the game and having nothing. And obviously, when you've got that. When you're in that place as well, then that spirals out of control, and then I know you turn into a depression. So I can see exactly where you're coming from, and the fact that you've used that time as well to now sort of.
Let me give you another example. There's one fighter that I know. He ain't fought for a world title, but he had a few title fights, and in those fights, he earned over 450k. He's still living at his mum's house, and he ain't got nothing. He's living pocket to mouth. Leaving off sponsorship though for him to be a full-time pro, and I'm like, imagine having 450k and you're still living at your mum's house. You ain't even got your own flat to rent out. You got nothing. You're still living at your mum's. It's okay living at your mum's house.
And like you said, you obviously don't name names, but was that spent like 450k like a party lifestyle sort of thing?
Fuck no.
Just spent on crap.
Traveling, maybe got a bird, took his bird out. Buying people food, going out for lunch, because people aren't that. 450k can go like that. When you got money can go just like that. When you got 100k, you spend 10k just like that, easily, and then before you know it, you got nothing. But this guy earned 450k over the period of like 3 years, three and a half to 4 years, and now he's got nothing. And I'm just looking at that and I'm like, it's so sad. I haven't earned anywhere near 450k in my boxing career, but I want to invest so much that I want to earn more after my boxing career is done than I've earned in my boxing career. That's the kind of vibe that I'm on now. That's the kind of vibe I'm on because I'm not trying to become like these guys. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, anyway, after that sort of deep counselling session, should we say? No, it's good to hear. Obviously, you sort of doing them sort of things, and mainly, I suppose, we do just want to see you back in the ring. And I know on Fight Week we'll talk to you about the fight and whatnot, but just quickly, Mel Barroso and yourself is a really good fight. Yeah,
I was there when he fought Kevin Mitchell. Mate, that was a hard fight for Kevin. I think that was Kevin Mitchell's last fight.
It was Kevin Mitchell's last fight, yeah.
And then he fought Anthony Corolla next, got stopped. But I've watched his fights after Anthony Corolla, and he's learned. With the Anthony Corolla fight, he just went gung ho, tried to blast him out in the first few rounds. So he's learned from that, and I reckon even though he's 38 years old, people don't understand. When you're 38 years old and you're from here, you're done because you spend all your time drinking beer and taking drugs and shit. But when you're Mexican, these Mexican Venezuelan, they're 38 years old, it's like 28 years old, because these guys ain't out there drinking beer, getting pissed out in clubs. Listen, these guys, they keep fit all year round. They live that lifestyle. So even though he's 38 years old, he's over the hill, he's old. He ain't old, he's young.
And you can add to that the ring craft that he would have gained over his career as well.
Exactly. I know that experience that he's gained. Bro, I don't care if he's 38 years old. He ain't 38. He's a 38 kind of thing. if you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
So he's going to be the best him, and I'm expecting a really good hard fight, and I'm training hard to get the victory.
Yeah. And you said it's for the WBA Gold. Is that so? Obviously, there is sort of follow on from that with the WBA and the rankings and that. Then there's potential for you to have massive fights for massive belts.
It's a WBA Gold, WBA Regular, the WBA Super. I didn't make the belts, but I ain't gonna complain. I didn't make it, but I'm gonna fight for it. Hell yeah. So you know what? A lot of people they comment, what's this belt? There's too many belts in boxing. Mate, there's too many belts in boxing. I'm not complaining. I didn't make the belts. I didn't make the rules. I thank the WBA for giving me this great opportunity to fight for their belt, and
it will open more doors after if you beat.
And I'm grabbing it with both hands. And after this, I want to go for the WBA Regular and hopefully the WBA Super.
Gosh,
Pick up the WBA.
Pick up the WBA. I look forward to it. Massive night in Dubai. A few Brits on the card. Be good to see yourself back in the ring.
Bradley Jack on the card. Rocky Fielding on the card. You got a few.
It's a good night.
That other guy, Wasim, what's his name?
Mohammed Wasim.
Yeah, Mohammed Wasim.
Donny Nietes.
Yeah.
Yes. Donny Nietes, the Filipino.
Yeah.
Good card. So
really good shot.
All good around.
And I've never boxed it up in Dubai. I've been to Dubai a few times. Mate, Dubai's wild.
Is it wild though?
Listen, I'll tell you one thing.
Because I keep seeing things online that it's like mad strict and you can't really be wild.
Listen, this year, at the start of this year, I went to Dubai. I booked a flight and a hotel for 3.5 weeks. I came back after 6 days. That's how mad it was. After 3 or 4 days there, I was like I went there because I felt like I needed to get away, let off some steam. After 3 days there, I was like, mate, I let off enough steam to like for 3 months. I'm good. After 3 days, I booked a new flight, cancelled the hotel. I was like, mate, this lifestyle is mad. Proper mad. So I come out after 6 days when I booked 3.5 weeks. Mate, it can be strict if you want it to be strict, but if you know where to go, you can have some fun.
Well, look, fingers crossed. I'm going to get to do the trip out there. I reckon it'll be given to Coots, but if I do go out there, you're going to have to show me where to go. And when you beat Barroso, we can party.
100%. I think it's all the clubs out there.